They offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty! Welcome aboard. I guess my cold isn't affecting me that much. Yes, sir. Hi, Hialeah Park. It's a Thursday. You know how it is. It's the second floor poker room. It's where all the action is going on. We'll be here for a couple of hours, so come on by and say hi. Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend, is driving it as he always does. It's a beautiful thing, man. Love it. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Yes, sir. All right. Feeling good today? I am, actually. With heat nice last night, although I didn't really watch it. I kind of watched the highlights, to be quite honest. I did not watch it. I had a really weird night last night. I did not feel well at all and went to sleep like at 6:30 in the evening, whatever, last night. And woke up like at 9:50 this morning. I don't know. I haven't done that in so long. I was just one of those, just didn't feel well, kind of worn out, all the fasting and everything else. I don't know what it is. Just, I'm kind of,
You're fasting as well?
Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm trying to lose some weight and all that kind of stuff.
With being sick too. That's probably why your body needed that rest. Then.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what my wife says, And so, yeah. So, so I didn't even enjoy anything last night. I sat down and I was going to start watching some television and stuff, and just didn't feel well and just went to sleep and just felt kind of like, you know what, today I'm just turning it in, and I did. And then I woke up 15 hours later. So it was good. It was good. So that was one of those deals for me yesterday. So I did not watch the Heat take care of business against the Magic, but let's give them a victory cigar. Why don't we, Sean Stanley? That's right, baby. That's right. 115 to 106. Nice job by them. And not only that, okay, but, we always like picking an MVP of the night, right? And I think last night, let's give our Cutter's Edge MVP of the night to somebody. Fire away.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
There we go. And our Cutter's Edge, it's William Quigley, of course, because he's like everybody's MVP here in South Florida. When it comes to landscaping, you got to call the Godfather. William Quigley is the Godfather of landscaping. Cutter's Edge Pro. Okay, they've got like 70 trucks. It's like the Don. You know what I'm saying? Businesses left and right, HOA complexes, you name it, they reach out to Cutter's Edge Pro because they expect excellence. And last night, Tyler Hero was a Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. 36 minutes, 28 points, 10 of 17 shooting. Very efficient night for him. 4 of 5 from three-point range. And how about my man Ty adding a little 8 rebounds and 7 assists along the way. So Tyler Hero, baby. I mean, when you're looking for artificial turf, when you're looking for the real kind of landscaping, because I go around places, I see landscaping, and they're adding these cheesy little flowers, and they're probably overcharging you and all these things, and cheesy little plants and weak stems, and no. You want quality through and through. You call Cutter's Edge Pro. You will get Sylvester palms that are like real healthy palms, not like a little skinny palm that they want you to wait 4 billion years for it to grow like it's supposed to, that kind of stuff. Cutter's Edge Pro. You want a Tyler Hero-like performance. William Quigley and the boys will get it done, okay? Cutter's Edge Pro, 954-472-0622.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
All right. let's see what we got going on. Bitcoin doing well, of course. Lots of things doing well. Just to kind of catch up here, we're at 43,600, so we're screwing around with the 44. Once this thing pops to like 50, I think it's just going to start like really running. But just to kind of keep you guys updated on some stuff that we've talked about here on the show many times, ADA, Cardano, went all the way to like 65, 66. It's now making another run. It's at 5%, and it's at 61.5 cents. So trying to make a move. Polygon, man, barely up 4%. It's at 79 cents. It's been stuck there for a long time. Polygon will pop. And when it pops, it's going to go from this 79 point stage, and it's going to go way over $1. Watch. Hasn't popped yet, so I'm just telling you, not a financial advisor, but that's one you may want to get on. Haven't I been talking about H-bar? I've been telling you about H-bar when it was at 5 cents, and it's at 6 cents, and it's at 7 cents. It's at 8 cents. It's at 9 cents now. It's up to you to use common sense. I can't tell you anything, right? I mean, when it was at 5 and it's at 9 now, that's production, right? A little bit, right? If it goes from 6 to 9, that's like 50%, right? It's kind of a movement. Just saying. So, and it's going to pop, and this is the one I keep telling you the feds are going to use, so saying. I've been telling you about Polkadot for a while now, right? It's all the way now up to $8.23. It was way down at $3 and $4. Now it's at $8.23. It's up 19% today. Okay? I've been warning you that Polkadot's going to pop, and it's starting to pop. All right? Just a couple there that I wanted to throw out. Anyway. Just, I do my best to guide you all. Mateo, wow. Damn, dude, you didn't waste any time with a super chat already before the show even started. Mateo, he says, upset of the year, Chargers topple the Bills. Damn. Well, Mateo, if that happens, we're about to put out our new merch, okay? All right, Mateo, if this happens, you're going to get a free hat. The Big O Show hat or the Big O Bitcoin Show hat, whichever one you want. There's two styles. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to you to pick the style you want, because you might be a Big O Show guy, but now you might be a Big O Show Bitcoin guy. You know what I'm saying? Because some of you have used the intelligence and you've gotten on the bandwagon with the rest of us, and you're making some money. You know what I'm saying? So Mateo, if it happens, Chargers topple, because I think there's no shot of that happening. No shot at all. Okay? But the first hat off the printer, you're getting. They haven't even started printing yet. Alan Blanco hasn't even started printing yet at 3A Graphics. We're about to start. We just finished all the elements. John finished everything last night. Got everything approved now. Now I gotta talk, and we're gonna put it up on Shopify site. And then we'll put out the link for you guys, and hopefully you will support us and purchase the merch. Perch the merch. Okay? Let's hope so. Let's do a little roll call. Frank Sharp is in. Ariel Saravia says playoff push. Starts with the Miami Dolphins beating the Cowgirls. All wins, no losses from here on out. Amen. Brooklyn Rob is in the house. Chris Zeno. Walter says we miss Neil and George. Big O, yes, sir. No doubt we miss a lot of people, bro. A lot of people. You know what I get every day now on my phone? Because I always get it like leading up to somebody's birthday, so I do it for like a week. Bill Preston. His birthday is the 27th, 2 days after Christmas. And I won't take off that note. You know what I mean? It's I'll just leave it there. Never forget you, my brother. Never forget you. Tough month, man. Lost him on the 9th, and then his birthday's on the 27th, and just, it was interesting because he was U2 was his favorite band too. And on the day he passed away, I'm at a U2 concert 2 years later. And you just wonder sometimes why things happen, you know what I mean? And it's like, wow, I chose to go that day, and it's the day that he also passed away, and he was a big U2 fan and all that kind of stuff. It was weird. Like, do you remember the shirt I was wearing yesterday? And I had no plans on this. I shit you not. I'm going to tell you a funny story, by the way. Funny ass story. Okay, because your kids are your kids, right? You can't control your kids, And my daughter's 24, 25 now, right? 24. And no, 25. No, 24. It's 23. Yes, 24. And so yesterday, you remember the shirt I was wearing? Anybody remember the shirt I was wearing yesterday? Don't go shutting down the thing and turning on yesterday's show. You lazy bastards. Anybody remember the shirt I was wearing yesterday? At all. At all. Just, because I learned something yesterday about cars and stuff like that I did not know about. And so it's something that I'm going to teach you about that you may not know about and you may want to get and you may not realize, yada, yada. And, okay, so I was wearing a red Tesla shirt, okay, because he went back to go look at it. Okay, so I was wearing a red Tesla shirt, and I just grabbed the shirt out of my closet because I like it, whatever. I got it in Vegas when I saw them recently. And I wanted to wear it, right? It's a really cool shirt. I don't have a lot of red concert shirts. So yesterday in the afternoon, before I got home, I had a long afternoon. Okay. My daughter was buying a Tesla yesterday. Red. So apparently she does the buying of the car online. The financing, she got it through her teachers union and all that kind of stuff, and I got it all approved. I want to warn you guys of this, okay? Because I'm getting my Acura next year. Towards the end of next year, I'm going to get my electric Acura, but I don't know how. I've never experienced any Tesla stuff. I've never even driven a Tesla, so I didn't know. But my daughter was like, "Hey, I'm going to go check it out." Whatever. She liked it. She took a test drive and she took the dive. Right. I don't like this at all. This turned me off that I'll never buy a Tesla in my life because of this. Okay. I did not know this is how they do it. So my daughter walks in, right? And she's here. Okay. She shows her license. And so, okay, your car is at this slot. So you go outside, whatever slot it is, and you walk up to that number 57 and your car is right there. And then you inspect the car. So she inspects the car, and the front quarter panel has scratches and all kinds of stuff by the wheel well, where it's right into the paint and everything. It's like really ugly. And so we go, hey man, we want another car, and oh, we can't do that. You would have to return the car, reverse the loan with the teachers union because it's third party, because it's tied to this VIN, and then you would have to reapply again for us to give you a different car. Or you can make an appointment to come back and replace the bumper. My daughter, oh my God, she was pissed. Right. And then we're talking, and it's like, and this is her the first time you buy a car, dude. Like, this is the most exciting moment for young people ever. You know that. I mean, anybody that has gone through, and you're buying it with your money, not our money. It's your car. Like, I didn't get in the way at all, dude. I tried to guide her to Acura and Toyota. She's actually not going to go to Toyota of Hollywood. So the Zinn family wins. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? But because I don't want to get in the way. I don't want to influence her. If that's what she wants, yada, yada, yada. So she's going, okay, it's not the worst thing. I got to come back. I'll go to the Coral Gables dealership to return and replace. So we go back to search the car again. So now we notice there's like white little spots on it, and we think it's like from the rag when they dried or what. It's freaking paint. It's little dots of white paint on the red paint. So they want you to make another appointment for that. And my daughter's like, F you all. I'm not taking the car at all. We're reversing the sale here. You lost a customer. I'm out the door. I'm never buying a Tesla. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her at all. I've never heard of you arriving and then they hand you the car that you have to take. What kind of communist shit is that, dude? I'm used to walking onto a lot and then picking the car you would. That's what I say at Acura all the time. Pick the color you want, the car you want, the style you want, the model you want, and the price you want. Because that's the American way, dude. I'm supposed to walk on and see 10 RDXs, see the black one, the red one, the blue one, the white one, the yellow one, and then say, well, I like that one. Okay, out of those 3 reds, let me see which one I like the most. There's the leather. That's the, okay, let me see what the paint job, everything's, okay. Now I'm driving off the lot. Okay, that's the one you want? Okay, that's the one we're going to sell you. So warning, if you're going to go buy a Tesla, it is already predetermined what car you're taking. Okay? That is like ass backwards. You know what I'm saying? Just absolutely ass backwards. So, anyway, but Tesla, you just led somebody to Toyota, is what you did. So, you know, what can I tell you? That's that. And then when I got home after that, I just felt like dog shit, and then I just went to sleep for 15 hours. So that was my day yesterday to kind of fill you guys in exactly on what went on. What happened? Green Lion? I got it. I've had 3 Teslas now. There's not enough inventory for you to pick one out. Most popular car in America. My last one was a 5-month wait, but those issues are effed up. Exactly. It's just, can you imagine a young person buying their car for the first time and you're just disillusioned? Bro, it's $40,000. You know, we're not talking about just a $8,000 used car that you're putting $2,000 down, and you're expecting warts. You know, I get it's most popular. I get that they're moving a lot, but that's not how you do business. That's a terrible way of doing business, dude. An absolutely terrible way of doing business. You just disillusion that child, or that young lady who's 24 years old. Like, she went out of her way. She's working hard. You know, she teaches every single day, dealing with 200 kids. She gets in the car with me from West Kendall. We go all the way to Miami Gardens to that Tesla dealership, and then to go through all that BS. And I felt so terrible for her, dude. I really did.
Real quick, just where's the Tesla Miami Gardens? Where's that one at?
441, right by the old QAM studios. It's like right by Wings and Stop.
Oh, okay. So down by the stadium? No. The Wingstop's not by the stadium.
It's like it's 199. So it's like 198, I think. 197.
Okay,
it's like the block before that turn.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
See how fat people use food as markers, and we can speak. We understand each other. Oh, Wingstop. Hell yeah, I know where Wingstop is. That's where Tesla is. Okay, now we got it. You know, that's how fat people are, bro. We love food places as our landmarks. Head down to the Burger King. It's about a mile down. When you hang a left, you go about 4 more blocks. There's a Miami Subs. Make a right. You make an immediate left, and it's right next to IHOP. Yeah, there you go. It's kind of, that's the way we do it. You know, it's the way we do it. Luis Medina is in. Jay Hurd. Steve Chapman. Time to shut up the doubters. Yes, sir. Great White Willie Shock. He's in Colombia. Let's see what else. Jason G, Omar Lopez, Steven Gonzalez, John Padilla, Timothy Eason, Chad, Gus 1388, Sammy Parker, and Waddle were Tua's receivers his prior week to Sharp. Sammy Parker. Devontae Parker, yeah. Gus, I'm glad you brought up, I think you mean Devontae Parker, but I keep hearing about I need Tua to beat these kind of teams this week and all that kind of shit, right? I need him to see because he never wins these kind of games, right? Let me ask you something. I'm sorry, I must have missed this. Beating the Cowboys this week with Mike McDaniel and Vic Fangio and a much better team, or beating the Ravens next week with Mike McDaniel, Vic Fangio, and this team and a healthy Tua, okay, all of these things, right? What's more impressive when Tua beat Baltimore coming off the bench with Brian Flores and no offense and no offensive coordinators and just one weapon, or anything that goes on in the next 3 weeks? I'm sorry. When I hear Shannon Sharp and others and just people talk stupidity and local people, TV, radio, whatever it is, platforms, and I need to see Tua do it this week. It's like, dude, I've seen him doing more impressive things than beating, Dallas this week. Like, this is a team thing. You know what I mean? I get it that of course, you need to pick on Tua because that's the only agenda you have. So you got to make it about Tua. But 2 years ago, when you're coming off the bench and you're replacing sorry-ass Jabroni Brissett and, you go beat Baltimore with nothing, I'm a hell of a lot more impressed with that. And if you beat Dallas this week, you're not beating Dallas just because of Tua, or just because of Tyreek, or just because of Chubb, or just because of Jalen Ramsey or something. You're beating them because collectively you got it done as a team. But I love how we have to make this narrative and my agenda always about Tua. So if you want any individual shit from Tua, well, why don't you go back 2 years ago against Baltimore? And by the way, didn't they have Mark Andrews in that game? They don't have him this week. He wasn't in. That's my point. So the Dolphins are way better now than they were 2 years ago. And even Baltimore is better 2 years ago than they are now because he has at least Mark Andrews. Or if not, they're the same. But either way, there's a lot more to work with than there was 2 years ago. And I'm way more impressed with what happened 2 years ago. Individually. I get it. You all out there that have been dead wrong about Tua, you got to come up with shit and invent shit every week and try to create things that don't exist. Like, I got to see him win these games. You just saw him do that a couple years ago. He can do those kind of things. It's about the team advancing. But you keep making it about one individual because that's typical lazy BS. Anyway, to extreme, Ray Sosa, Jay Gelfin is in the house, reminding everybody to hit that like button, please. Horn Dog, C's, Ron, Yearly Man. What's up? What do you got?
I was going to Rosendo down at the end. He's still trying to figure out the shirt connection with yesterday. Can I explain it to history professor?
She's buying a Tesla. The shirt was red. The car was red. It's Tesla. And I grabbed a Tesla shirt in the morning, not realizing that in the afternoon I was taking my daughter to buy a Tesla that was red. And I happen to be wearing a Tesla rock shirt that's red. You good, Rosendo? All right. Let's see. Cristo Mako. Try sparkling carbonated water when fasting. It will curb the hunger. It's a good idea. Thank you. It's a very good idea. Karun, my dad lost a bunch of weight intermittent fasting
It has shown to be effective. Yeah, no, it can be effective. There's no doubt it can be effective. I've done it before. Big O, did you hear about Shannon? Yeah, I heard. It's just these people, and he makes shit up like Tua didn't even say what he said. It's just, man, if I would just spend my time rebuttaling all the stupid Tua stuff, I would spend my entire show doing that. Just correcting people. You know what I mean? It's enough that I used to have to do it with some of the insiders when they would come on, and have to correct them because they came up with some crazy ass shit. So, yeah. But that happens once you say it in front of me, then I got to correct you. You know what I mean? It's like if you dare say in front of me that Democrats or Republicans know what they're doing, that's not a good idea in front of me. That's not a good idea because I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to tell you, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I'll tell you why you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it. Well, I'm communist. What do you want me to do, bro? Rise Taylor, Big O, are you still doing pre and post game shows Christmas Eve? I feel like this is the hardest of the three. Ravens passing attack doesn't scare me, and Allen 7 of 15, 94 yards doesn't make me worried either. If the boys play up to their potential, they'll be fine. And when do you know me not to work? So we're doing the season. The games are whenever the games are, I have to do the games, and I'm doing the games. Plus that game, we're at a bar. Next week, we're at Christmas Eve. Oh, okay, yeah. No, because the other one we could be stuck on New Year's Eve, right? Because they could flex the Ravens game to later, and we could be doing New Year's Eve. We could be all celebrating the New Year's together at Walk-Ons next week. Just so you'll know. So join us at Walk-Ons, okay? Next week. We'll have some prizes and giveaways. I just talked to the Perdomo folks today. They're giving me some stuff. I'm sure Caneswear will be giving me some stuff, and we'll have some fun with that. And I know we'll work with Perdomo on something really cool for the shooting contest over at Top Gun in late January. We were talking about the kind of game we're going to have at Top Gun too, so that's going to be a lot of fun. And remember, for you ladies out there, Top Gun does have classes for you too, in English and in Spanish. So just in case, for those of you out there, if you're looking for something that can help you in self-defense, for the ladies, they've got it there at Top Gun in Kendall, 12015 Southwest 114th Street. So check it out, and we'll be broadcasting there next Wednesday again, okay? So next Wednesday, if you want to come on by like a few of you did this past week, and thank you, by the way. That's very nice of you all coming by and saying hi. That was very, very nice. When I left, there were a couple of you guys out there waiting, and that was like, you didn't have to wait, man. I wish you would have told them to come by and tell them to, send you back there where we were at. But maybe at that moment you weren't shooting, so they probably didn't guide you all the way back there at that moment, because at that time they were already starting to open up the ranges in the back. Let's see. Krillian says, I love Rich Eisen's take on McDaniel and Tua's comments from yesterday. I started to listen to Shannon Sharp's take, and literally 20 seconds in, I turned it off. This is the nonsense that goes on all the time in our world. And people follow this crap too. It's the sad part, man. JM Person says, there are exciting times to be Dolphin fans. Reminds me of the good old days. Let's hope this is the start of a new beginning. It is, man. I know they have to prove it. I know they have to get through it. And listen, nobody's been more frustrated. There is no Dolphin fan more frustrated than I am, because it started with the Buffalo game, because I know this is not who they are. This team is way too talented. And if you can get them pretty much healthy, there are too many missed last week. You can't run the table with all the guys you missed last week. But if you get most of these guys back this week, you can run the table, man. You can run the table. I really believe this is a completely different franchise. They just have to go out and prove me right. That's it. That's what they have to do. Let's see what else. Tua throwing for 329 yards and 2 touchdowns. He would throw more TDs, but Mostert and Achan. None of that is important, guys. It's about winning games. It's about getting to the playoffs. I don't care about Tyreek's 2,000 yards. I don't care if Tua passes for 5,000 yards. I don't care if Tua passes for 40 or 50 touchdowns. I just want the Dolphins to win, dude. That's all. I don't care about records, man. I don't care about Pro Bowls. That's all. That's the garbage that we used to talk about for years because all we had was Ricky rushing for a couple years. So, hey, rushing title, and so individuals, Jason Taylor chasing the sack record, but it's not like our team's going to be a Super Bowl team. That's why I'm saying that none of these records mean anything to me. I don't care. Because if you get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs and Tyreek got 2,000 yards, what does it mean, dude? It means nothing. It's a nice individual record that meant nothing in a season of no accomplishments. Because after everything, you didn't win a playoff game. It doesn't matter. So I don't care what Achan runs for. I don't care how many sacks Chubb ends up with. I don't care if Tyreek gets 2,000 yards. I don't care if Tua is all pro or whatever. None of that means anything if these guys don't succeed in the playoffs. It just doesn't. Yeah. I'll give you a great example. And it was Sean stirred it up today when we were here in the pregame just talking. He goes, man, you see Mario? And I'm like, yeah, he goes, yeah, he got the 3rd recruiting class. And I'm like, okay. But why? Because none of that means anything to me anymore. I know what Mario is. He's a perfect human being. Well, none of us are perfect. But what I'm saying is he's such an outstanding human being. He's a great leader of men. I know all of that. Are you going to outwork Mario Cristobal? Good luck. Good luck. You got no shot at outworking the guy. Are you going to out-recruit him? Good luck. Yeah. He's been the number 1 recruiter in this country for years now. Okay? He was like that at Alabama, and then he became a head coach and all that, and so you can't be called the recruiter, but he's been an exceptional recruiter. Okay? All you have to look is the tackle that plays for Detroit and the safety that plays for us and the defensive end that plays for the Giants. That's his doing over there at Oregon. So he's going to recruit great players with great character, great leadership, all that kind of stuff. I know what Mario is. His teams will be tough and all that kind of stuff and everything. I know what he's going to excel at. But unless he shows me the X's and O's results on Saturdays and gets away from that conservative approach of his, that's his bugaboo for me. That's his only bugaboo. I need to see him on game day be a completely different guy and a much more aggressive coach. Because you're going to have to be aggressive in order to win a national title. So it's the same thing. A lot of hot air and a bunch of stuff that I already know he's going to excel in all those things. I just need him to excel in one area that he lacks. And then when he gets over that hump, now we're talking. And this Dolphins team, they can break all kinds of individual records. They can individually achieve all kinds of stuff. None of that means shit to me anymore. I need to see them overcome what they have not been able to be for a long, long time. Instead of great individually at times, how about being great collectively? And that's what it's all about for me. Time to win, man. Win and win big.
It's similar to what happened, and I know that he brought it up too, is that like last week with Josh Allen, he was only 7-15 for 94 yards because that's all he needed to do.
Exactly.
Because they were winning. It's like he even said in the process, he's like, I'm getting an A on my science project, and I did no work.
Some guy was like, "Oh, he only got 220 against the Jets." That's all he needs, bro.
Yeah, that's all.
What was he gonna? Why would he need to force the ball into a great defense more and more and more? No.
Sometimes less is more.
That's it. The running game did its job. The defense did its job. You did your job in the passing game. The coaches did their job, and you easily handled the Jets. There's no need to force anything. Why? Because some of you are worried about style points. Who gives a shit about style points, dude? It was stylish, 30-0. I don't think it gets more stylish than 30-0. 30-0 is as stylish as it gets. And we got to stop worrying about all the periphery stuff, man. I just don't care about it anymore. I really don't. It's nice, but it'll mean something in the context of winning. That's when it's going to mean something. You went deep into the playoffs. You were the AFC champ. Tyreek also got 2,000 yards. You were the AFC champ. Tua's all-pro. You're the AFC champ. Chubb, one of the sack leaders in the NFL. You know, whatever. Not that that would be the case, because the guy from Cincinnati is like way ahead of him. Alrighty. FAU's own. He's got, I want to say he's already got like 15 or 16 sacks or something stupid, man. That guy's tearing it up. Man, he has become such a great player. Chad says, if we want to establish ourselves as legit to all the media and haters, they have to win 2 of the next 3. Of course, I want to see them win all 3, but let's just keep our destiny in our hands. That's it. That's it. That is 100% right, sir. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. I sent Matt the link. Can you send it to him again? I don't know why. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. Hey, by the way, if you guys want a little breaking news, Ndamukong Suh will not sign with the Dolphins. Okay, it's over there, so you can put that one away. Okay, so that's if you want to. But there you go. Okay. 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 Let me just since I gave it to you guys first, we'll put it over on Twitter for you guys there too, just in case. Okay. No Suh. You will not get. You will no Suh for you. No Suh for you. Okay. We used to have the soup Nazi, right? I'm the Suh Nazi. No Suh for you. Okay. Breaking news. No Suh for you. All right, let's go. The man, the myth, the legend. Give me 1 minute. Matt Veram is next.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, Mr. V?
I'm okay. I drove 13 hours yesterday, and now I'm relaxing at my parents' house for the holidays. So I'm good. I'm glad to be here and not in the car anymore. How are you doing?
Can you relax at parents' house? Ooh, that's I don't know. Is that an oxymoron? Is that, or you happen to have the coolest parents in town? They're not going to drive you a little crazy? What's going on? Wait. You didn't say in-laws. You said parents. So there's hope. Okay, wait a minute. There's hope. There's hope.
My parents. No, my parents are pretty cool. I'll hang out and relax. You got the my two daughters are here, so they'll do to play with them and have some time with them. And right after I'm done with this, I'm going to a brewery with my wife, and then I'm taking my mother out for a cocktail later. So this is the time of year, Big O, that I enjoy thoroughly.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So you're not being driven a little crazy. You don't have to cook, huh?
I do. We have a big holiday party on Saturday in which, how can I explain it? So my buddy and I, he's almost like basically my brother. After college, our favorite holiday is Christmas. And we always would lament the fact that, it's like, man, on Christmas, you have to get together with family, half of which you can't stand. Nobody wants to do that. So we jokingly started on the 23rd. We're like, let's have Christmas Eve. And it was like, we're just going to invite people we want to see. And we did it once. And then everybody who went to it was like, you have to keep doing it. And so we've done it now for like 15 years running. And either he comes out to Illinois or I come back to New York and we have it. So on Saturday, we will cook that. I got a 10-pound ham that I got to glaze and roast and all that. We'll get after it. We'll get it done.
Nice. That is strong right there. I like it. You got to send me some pictures of that that ham once it's done, bro. I might fly over there to go get it because that might make me a little too hungry. But either way, we are hungry for victories down here. Your thoughts on Dolphins and Cowboys on Sunday?
First of all, I think it's the best game of the weekend, or at least the best game of Sunday. I mean, the Ravens and Niners is a hell of a game. I got to be honest with you. I am really kind of conflicted on this game because on one hand, the Dolphins just played very well against the Jets. And it's the Jets, I get it, but the Dolphins are missing half their team. They won 30-0. And the Cowboys were a disaster. And if the Dolphins can run the ball like that, it's over. They'll win the game. My question, and you and I have talked about this, will McDaniel stick with it or will they get away from it? Because that has been the problem with McDaniel at times where they run the ball well and then they don't do it. And then we're sitting there the next day and we're like, why did they run the ball 15 times when they were averaging 6 yards a carry? Like, just keep doing it. It's always when you get a good team that gets beat the way Dallas got beat, you feel like they're going to come out and play better. They're just – I mean, there's going to be that, hey, we got to get right. We got embarrassed and all that. On the other hand, this is a big opportunity for the Dolphins as well, who are sitting there going, hey, look, we got to beat a team that most people think is a top team. And also, with the way the Bills schedule breaks, like the Dolphins have to play well down the stretch here. I mean, or you're playing for the division week 18. So this is a critical game. I think it's going to be a really, really good game. And my biggest denominator of this thing is how well do the Dolphins run the ball and how well do they stick to it? I think if they stick to it, they'll win. If they don't, I think Dallas will win.
Yeah, and this past week, like situationally, he did the things that he has kind of lacked at times throughout the year. But the problem was it's the Jets, and you kind of knew, dude, I don't need to put much effort here. Just
no fear of
cruise control. The defense is going to control a team that has no offense whatsoever. I mean, really. And so I can't say that his good decisions from this past week, that he learned his lesson and it will roll over until I actually see it in these kind of games. So, that's the part that I would love to say, yeah, he kind of learned his lesson, but I don't know that yet, man. I don't know that yet.
I think part of it too just depends like how the game goes, right? I mean, if Miami gets off to a good start defensively and they get up on Dallas, then it becomes a hell of a lot easier for McDaniel to say, okay, we're going to run the ball, we're going to stick with it, so on and so forth. Whereas if this is one of these games where Dallas comes out, and look, Dallas has been about as Jekyll and Hyde as you can get. I mean, Dallas has some games where they come out and they look like the best team in football. They have other games that come out, like that Bills game, where they look like they're in mud and they can't do anything, and they're just a train wreck for 3 quarters. I mean, I think if you are the Cowboys, you almost are forced to come out this game and say, look, we've got to try to test every bit of Miami in terms of, can Lamb work open? Lamb struggled against Teron Johnson last weekend in the slot. I mean, he just could not do anything. If they move him in the slot this week, how does Miami guard him? What do they do? Do they go more of a zone approach? Do they stick man-to-man with the slot? That's interesting. I think if you're Dallas, you want to find that out early. And then also, look, you try to run the ball some in this game with Pollard. Now, Miami's front is a talented front. And with Fangio, I would think Fangio is going to try to shut that off first and foremost and say, hey, look, we're going to make Dak try to beat us, especially with, Matt Martin last week getting hurt, everything else. Like, if I'm Miami, I want to shut the run game off and say, okay, Dak, beat us. Like, we can put Ramsey on an island, beat us. I would think that's how Fangio tries to play. I'm curious to see, though, how that game starts off, because it might, every time, I'm not telling anybody any new news about football, like, the first couple of drives are critical, but in this game, I think especially, because it's going to drive the way the rest of the game is played.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you there. I think they're going to be able to run, and I think that's going to open everything up for this team. I running has been a strength of this team, and I think if you're going to win from here on out, dude, the weather's only going to get worse. Obviously, if you have the luxury of being the number 1 seed, the weather won't be so bad at home from here on out, and that would be to your advantage. But just in case, if you do have to go on the road, you're not going to play in some good weather. So running is going to be your best friend, and that's what Dallas is susceptible to this. So you should be able to take advantage of it. That's the way I look at it. And you're getting Brooks back to this week too.
Right. And look, I don't disagree. I mean, if you look at Dallas defensively this year, okay, I mean, this is a team that against the run has been pretty average. I mean, even below average. So they're giving up 4.3 yards per carry, which ties them for 18th. So like they're middle of the road. They're not terrible. They're not great. Yards per game on the ground, they're 19th. So it's a slightly below average run defense. But to me, the biggest thing, and I thought this was frankly Buffalo's greatest stroke of genius in the game. And to be fair to Joe Brady, he basically admitted at the game, like, hey, we weren't planning to do this, just worked out. They ran the ball so effectively early, it took Parsons and Lawrence out of the game. Like, it just completely negated them. That is the one thing. I always laugh when you get these people who are like, well, running the ball, it doesn't matter. And look, you can slow down a pass rush by running the football. It changes the way you play up front as an edge rusher, because now if you're in 2nd and 5, you can't just pin your ears back and go after the quarterback. Now it's okay. I got to contain my edge. I got to watch for any kind of a run fake. You have to be attentive to it. And if I'm Miami, especially with how beat up the line has been, I'm thinking, look, we've got to run the football. I mean, we have got to get – like, the one thing in Miami for me that is death for the Dolphins in this game is if they have a lot of 3rd and longs. That is death against this football team, because Parsons and Lawrence will tee off. Quinn is a creative defensive coordinator. Like, I saw a lot of Cowboys fans complaining about Quinn last week. I'm like, look, if you're getting run over at the point of attack, there's nothing your coordinator's doing, period. Like, you can't dial up anything at that point. You're screwed. You're in 2nd and 2 all game long. I mean, there's no defense for 2nd and 2 other than just to load up the box and hope you can create a negative play. Miami has to be able on 1st down to run successfully in this game. If you get in the 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, that's when Parsons becomes a nightmare and Lawrence is a nightmare. And that's when you run the real that was frankly a lot of what happened in that Kansas City game. They kept getting into 3rd and long. And the Chiefs just kept relentlessly blitzing. I think that would be similar here. So they've got to run the ball on 1st down effectively.
And I hate to say it, bro, but this is a bowl unlike others. See, in most bowls, when you win, you take the trophy, you take the money home, you take the title, all of that. But in this game, this one's called the Fraud Bowl. And the loser is the one that takes the title here, unfortunately. And that's the negative to this whole thing here. I know the Cowboys have kind of been dealing with this for a long time, getting hyped and coming down. But now it's the Dolphins, and they're kind of getting the same kind of negative love. Like, oh, you got to beat, you got to prove. But that's the sad part. The loser of this game, oh, man, they're not going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, and let's just even look at the, 3 weeks left now. Let's look at the practical part of this. Okay, so if they lose this game, I know the Bills have lost to a lot of bad teams. For sure, I get it. And God knows they're capable.
They're not losing tonight. They're not losing tonight.
They're not losing to the Chargers, okay? And they're not losing to the Pats at home. They're just not. The Pats at this point are incapable of scoring. And so you're going to be sitting there. The Bills are going to be 10-6 going to Miami. It's happening. Yes. If you're Miami, if you don't win both of these upcoming games, that game's for the division. Now, I'm not saying the Dolphins can't beat the Bills. The Dolphins very well could beat the Bills. Yeah. But you don't want to be in that position. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't know how many Dolphins fans have sat there and thought about this. Maybe a lot have. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. I am a nerd with playoff scenario stuff. I sit there on the ESPN playoff machine for like an hour. And I screw around. I try to figure out who's making the playoffs based off some scenarios. Buffalo, because of their conference record and a couple head-to-head losses like Denver and Cincinnati, they lose every tiebreaker in the AFC with all these wildcard teams. Buffalo is not making the playoffs as a wildcard team unless the Dolphins can win the division at 12-5 and the Bills run the table at 11-6. If the Bills go 10-7, they're not getting in the playoffs. So you're going to have a scenario very likely week 18 where it is for Buffalo, win and you win the division, lose and you miss the playoffs. I mean, that is going to be a wild scenario. And for the Dolphins, it could either be, hey, win the game, win the division, lose, be a wild card, or potentially how they play the next couple of weeks, win and you're the 1 seed, lose and you're the 3 seed. I mean, so there is, they always wait for the week 18 slate. They wait the Sunday night flex the week before, like they flex it during the week 17 Sunday night game. They can flex that game right now because that's going to be the Sunday night football game. And that game is going to be for everything, in my opinion, for Buffalo. If you're the Dolphins, though, you can take a lot of air out of that game by winning these next 2. Maybe you're still playing for the 1 seed, but you don't have to worry about the division. That's that is something where if I'm Miami, that is motivating me like none other the next couple of weeks.
All right, dude. So you tell me, this past week, he and the team lose to Seattle 20-17. He has 143 passing yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yep.
Then they got walloped by Dallas 33-13, and he had 197 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. In San Francisco, they got walloped also 42-19. He did throw 298 yards, but only 1 touchdown in that game. But more importantly, after that game, Nick Bosa said, we put it on tape, we've exposed him, and then he's gone on to lose and play worse along the way. Every week he has played worse than the game he played against Nick Bosa. So you tell me, has the league figured out Jalen Hurts, or is this just a funk?
Yeah, I think it's a funk. Look, some of this is somewhat explainable, right? I mean, the Niners right now are the best team in football, and they went to Philly and they just killed them. Yeah. The Dallas game, that's of the 3, I think, is the one where you're like, man, that was just an egg. I mean, that game, like, they didn't even show up. They didn't score an offensive touchdown. The only touchdown they had in that game was Jalen Carter's scoop and score. The Seattle game, well, I don't give the team a pass. I think it was pretty obvious Hurts was feeling like death in that game. I mean, he had to fly on a separate plane, the whole deal. Now, listen, you play and you live with the result. I mean, if you play, you're saying you can play. I think a lot of times we make too much of this blueprint stuff. Like, oh, they figured this out. Okay, but they don't have the Niners, talent, right? I mean, most teams aren't going in there with
No
seven.
one has the Niners, bro.
I mean,
No.
it's like this idea that like, now the Niners did it. We're going to do. No, you're not. Like you don't have the Niners, capabilities. I will say this though, for the Eagles, not so much Hurts specific, but Eagles specific. I think you are to a point where they can't defend anybody. I mean, they just cannot get off the field.
Doesn't it seem the same as the last Super Bowl when they won it? This time they didn't win it, but when they won it, then they started to fall apart after that. And now that they reached like that pinnacle, and now it seems like they're starting to fall apart from that. And it's like the weirdest thing.
Well,
like it's odd.
It's so hard because when the Eagles last year obviously were loaded on both sides of the ball, but it's so hard to keep a great defense together because a great defense requires how many guys to be great? I mean, 7, 8 guys. It's hard. When you are, I'm trying to think of an example. When you're the Peyton Manning Colts, okay. Now I know he had Wayne, okay, and he had Harrison. I get it, but like you're going to be great on offense for 15 years. You have Peyton Manning. I mean, if you have anybody around that guy, okay. You're going to be great. The Chiefs have receivers right now who I'm pretty sure are actively betting against the Chiefs, and they're still going to win 12 games this year because of Mahomes. It's easier to be great on offense if you have the quarterback. Then, we saw this offseason with the Eagles. They lost Hargrave, and they lost both their starting safeties. And
they added Jalen Carter, bro.
I know.
Shit.
Right? They added Carter.
God, that's he's already one of the 5 best linemen in the NFL, dude.
They added him. They added Nolan Smith, but they lose Hargrave, and Reddick's not going to have 20 sacks this year, as good as he is, and they lose T.J. Edwards in the middle, and they lose. I mean, they lost basically the whole middle of their defense, and so now it's like, hey, great, you still have Slay and Bradbury, but it's an expressway down the middle of the field. I mean, you can just throw the ball over them, and guess what? Your pass rush doesn't matter when guys are getting open in a second. I mean, it just doesn't matter anymore. That's the problem. Where like Philly. Look, I still wouldn't want to play them in a playoff game. They're a talented team. They're a smart team. They're a proud team. But at this point, you do look at the NFC, I think, and go, yeah, it's the Niners. I mean, unless they just get, they have a day where – I'll tell you what. I don't know how you feel about this. I think maybe in some ways the scariest team for the Niners is the Rams because the Rams see them all.
Yeah, dude. Wow, great job by them, dude. They have quietly turned that thing around, man.
They have the 2 receivers, and if there's one thing with the Niners, you can throw the ball on them. Like, you can throw the ball in San Francisco if you can block them. The Rams have had a good line this year. They have 2 great receivers. Stafford can throw the ball through a Cheerio. Yeah. And, like, one thing about the Rams, look, Donald is so great. He can just wreck shop. I mean, he can just have a game where it's like, hey, that guy had 3.5 sacks and 7 pressures. And, I mean – and you know as well as I do, sometimes in football, the scariest thing is a team that's familiar with you. They know you. They're not afraid of you. Like McVay and Shanahan, they're best friends. They know each other. They coach together. So if I'm the Niners, bring in the Cowboys all day. I'll play the Cowboys any day of the week. The Rams, in an odd way, if I'm the Niners or the team, I don't want to play because they know you. They have no fear of you. I think, I'm curious to see how it shakes with them.
And They actually the Rams should be the team that can play the loosest out of everybody because nobody is giving you the time of day.
And they just won a Super Bowl. There's no pressure on them. They can go in there and go, what the hell? I mean, what do we care?
Yeah.
I actually think in an odd way, like if they play the Niners in the divisional round, that's just going to be dismissed nationally. Oh, that's a joke. I could see that being a game where it's 2020 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I didn't see this coming, dude. I wasn't a believer of him when he was coming out of school. I didn't think he could play at a high level. I loved his swag and all that kind of stuff, but I got to give him mad props, bro, because watching somebody go hit top to then hit bottom and then climb back up, Baker Mayfield deserves a lot of love and a lot of respect, dude, because it's hard to bounce back after you've been beaten down the way he has, or you fail, or those kind of things, or, all the crap that went on with him in Cleveland. He has played some really good football that I did not see coming, my man. I got to say.
I totally agree with you. I mean, Mayfield, his career looked over last year.
Yeah, dude.
He really did. Like, okay, he goes out, he gets booted from Cleveland. He goes to Carolina. Carolina cut him. Carolina was like, yeah, we're good. Get out. He goes to the Rams, and okay, I mean, he had that one crazy Thursday night game against the Raiders, but like, he wasn't anything special. They're like, all right, they're irrelevant. Who cares? And when he went to the Bucs, I thought he'd win the job over Trask, but I remember thinking, like, this team, they're a bottom 5 team in the league with this guy quarterback. I mean, it's not going to be able to produce. They're probably going to win the division. I mean, maybe New Orleans does it, but like Tampa already beat him in New Orleans. I'm with you. I give Mayfield a ton of credit. Do I think they're a scary team in the playoffs? No. But, like, do I respect him enough and that offense enough that with Evans and Godwin, could they just have a game where
He's a professional quarterback, bro?
Yes.
He's a professional quarterback.
If I'm Tampa, I'd bring him back next year. Maybe I'm drafting somebody. That's cool. But, like, I'm bringing him back. I'm definitely bringing him back. And it's to his credit. We've been watching Mitchell Trubisky the last couple of weeks.
Oh, my God.
And you're like, oh, my God. I mean, he can't play. Like, he's not even an NFL backup.
The guy the Jets had, the former Lion. Boyle or whatever.
Oh, my God, Boyle, yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. You don't belong anywhere in the NFL, bro.
You go to the Combine. I go to the Combine. Hell, we met up last year. I remember when Trubisky was coming out of Buffalo as a free agent. When he spent the 1 year with the Bills as free agent. People were talking about Trubisky like, oh, he's rehabbed. His agent, that's the greatest sell job in NFL history. I mean, that man should have gotten 30%. It's unbelievable. Like, people were talking about Trubisky. And I remember looking up that he had like 8 pass attempts that year for Buffalo, and he threw a pick. And people are like, he's great. He's rehab. He can't play. And here's Mayfield, who is every bit as dead in his career as Trubisky was.
Yeah.
And now you look at him and go, hey, man, that guy's a league average starter. Like, he's not great, but I do quarterback rankings for SI every week. I think this week he was 16th, like smack dab in the middle. I mean, you can win games. You can win games with Baker Mayfield. So I'm with you. Kudos to him.
One more thing before I let you go. Randy likes to run his mouth. And now the latest one that he's like, making his self-declaration that he's the greatest receiver ever and better than Jerry Rice. And, I got to watch this guy's entire career, dude. And, a 10-time All-Pro to a 4-time All-Pro, a guy that won so many titles. Jerry Rice, put it this way. I tweeted this out. Here's the difference between Rice and Moss, and this is all you need to know. At least in my eyes. I'm interested to know what you think. But in my eyes, when Jerry was at his peak, okay, we were arguing if Jerry Rice was the greatest football player ever.
Yeah.
We weren't talking receiver. We were talking better than Jim Brown, better than whatever you wanted to come up with. You were putting Jerry Rice in that conversation. And it reminds me a lot of Tua and Tyreek, not putting them in the same class, people, relax. But the talking points. People used to say Rice was more important than Montana. I lived it. I watched it. I read it. I know it. They used to say it. Why? Because they went to the extreme of giving Jerry Rice the label of the greatest football player ever. So for me, he made Rich Gannon an MVP at 40 years old. Okay. No, seriously. I mean, the shit Jerry Rice did, it just does not, it's just, to me, it's like it's two completely different players. And Randy Moss took plays off. This guy never took a play off. Even if the ball wasn't coming to him, he was
Randy Moss took multiple seasons off.
Yes, multiple seasons off. Exactly. And to me, when we talk about Rice, I want young people to understand the discussion used to be with Rice, greatest player ever. We don't even bother talking about wide receiver because that would be ignorant. Yeah. Your thoughts?
For my money, Jerry Rice is the greatest player ever. I mean, I got to tell you, look, we always go to quarterbacks and default to quarterbacks. I know Brady won 7. I get it. And I'm not taking anything away from Tom Brady.
Of course not.
But to me, like Tom Brady, I'm trying to think how I can word this without getting myself in trouble. Tom Brady is like Bill Russell. Okay. Bill Russell is not often talked about as like the greatest basketball player of all time, but he's the greatest winner of all time.
I like that.
Brady was the greatest winner I've ever seen. there are guys who have played the quarterback position who are more talented than Brady. But Brady, in terms of the way, the totality that is Brady, right, of course, right. I mean, so there's that example. Rice is the greatest receiver ever by a comical margin. It's kind of like if you watch hockey, like Wayne Gretzky is the best hockey player ever by a ridiculous margin. Like for context of that, if you took away every goal Wayne Gretzky ever scored in his career, which is more than anybody's ever scored, by the way, he would still lead the NHL all time in points just by his assists. Like that's how ridiculous he's been. And so with Rice, I think he and Lawrence Taylor are the two greatest players in NFL history, period. I mean, just in terms of pure dominance, Rice is over 21,000 receiving yards.
By the way, just to add a little bit to your point, I was listening to Dan Patrick, and that one of his guys brings in like historical stats every day, and it was like a week ago or like 6 days ago, 5 days ago. It was just recently, but he goes, on this day in 19 whatever, he goes, Wayne Gretzky just passed 100 points in the season.
It's
December. December.
I can't remember. I think it was the year he had 215 points. And he, at one point, like late in the year, it was like their 75th or 76th game, he had only not had a point in 2 games.
Yeah.
For the year. I mean, it's just, but like in 1994 with Rice had like almost 1,900 yards receiving. In 1994. Yeah. And that's literally adjusted for now. Like if you had like 2,700 yards, like what Tyreek Hill's doing this year is unbelievable. Like unbelievable stuff. If he didn't get hurt, he probably hits 2,000. He might still hit 2,000.
And that's the difference also. He never got hurt.
Right.
He never got hurt.
I mean, the guy almost hit 2,000 yards 30 years ago. It's just, look, anybody who argues, I always laugh when they do these videos with these current guys. I'm like, hey, so-and-so, who are your top 5 receivers of all time? You always know it's a good list when number 2 is like Chad Johnson.
Right.
Bro, come on, man. It's not Jerry Rice. To me, Rice was more dominant in his position than anybody else has ever been at their position by a mile. Now, like Lawrence Taylor, I tossed in there because he changed the way offense was played.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Taylor, Joe Gibbs had to change his offense because they just couldn't block him. They could not figure out a way to block Lawrence Taylor. As great as all these quarterbacks are, and you could talk Montana, you could talk about Brady, whoever you want to toss in there. How many guys have literally forced the rules change because you're like, you can't stop it. Like, there's nothing you can do. Where Taylor literally changed the NFL rule book. Right. There's nothing you can do. Stop him. And that's greatness.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, follow him on Twitter at Matt Veram. What do you got going on Sports Illustrated, my friend?
I wrote it all in advance this week so I could enjoy the holiday. So I got the matchups to watch. Goes out on Friday. I obviously broke down Dolphins Cowboys and broke down every other game. I got the quarterback rankings up. They come out today. Film study out earlier this week, and then I'll have on Sunday, Christmas Eve, and happy holidays, by the way, to you and everybody else out there watching. But Christmas Eve, I'll be working. I will have my immediate reaction to all these games as they're wrapping up. You can check it out right on the front page of SI.com. I'll tweet it out, the whole deal. Listen, it should be a very interesting slate of games, especially in Miami. We're probably the best game going on Sunday afternoon. I look forward to watching.
Amen. Amen. Happy holidays, my friend. Enjoy the friends. Enjoy the family. We will catch up next week, my friend. Thank you.
Sounds good. Take care.
You got it. The great Matt Veram. Good stuff as always. Yes. So what's the reaction? I'm sure he wanted too much money. Unless he can play O-line, we don't need him. This is the reaction on Ndamukong Suh not getting signed by the Miami Dolphins. Michael Perez, hell yeah, great news. Thank the Lord. He would have ruined the locker room. This is an opening for the Bills to sign him now that Jordan Phillips is on the IR. Daniel says it's lame. So some of the reactions of no Ndamukong Suh for you. No Suh for you. That's it. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Those Broncos deserve to get whipped from McDaniel's 70 burger special. Let's see. Call me crazy, but I think the Ravens might be a bust. They are banged up. No, the Ravens are the Ravens. They do the same thing. They'll choke in the first round of the playoffs like they normally do, because they won't be able to get that passing game going like they need to. A fan since 94, many heartbreaking years. This is the best I've ever seen Miami. A win Sunday will be huge. Yes, sir. Let's win the next 3 Sundays. Only 21 years old. I won't be happy with this team until we start winning, and we haven't done that at all yet, except the ones we're supposed to beat. Okay. I'll be 46 in February. Fan since my uncle took me to a signing at the Orange Bowl Memorino Clayton Duper in 86. I've been a fan ever since, says True Fin Fan. You guys have seen nothing but garbage, and you're still fans. Makes me proud of you guys. Loyalty is rare quality these days. Most of the young guys are bandwagons, Ravens fans. I got you. He's right about that, by the way. True Fin Fan is right. Young fans are the strongest fans we have, because, man, those people have not seen anything good. Nizzle is checking in. Omar Geiner says, I want to win the division, then a couple of playoff wins. Mecca Film says, sorry, never had faith in Hurts' passing game. Jacob Scroggin says, fasting is so dumb. Well, that goes with me then. I'm dumb. Thank you. Fasting has been medically proven to improve health and discipline of the mind. But it's dumb, because we are dumb people here. For my money, Lawrence Taylor's the greatest football player. I don't have a problem with Lawrence Taylor. I think you don't know football if you think Moss is better than Rice. Put it that way. Because I watched both of them, and there's like zero comparisons. Zero. It's like not even close. No one is close to Jerry Rice. Certainly not Moss. Clyde Gates didn't make that wide receiver. That's Karuna's right. Clyde Gates could be one of the greatest receivers of all time. Got to tell you.
Right after Sammy Parker?
Right up there with Brian Manning and Sammy Parker. Yes, exactly. Sammy Parker's another one of those. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What was the name of that receiver we got from San Diego State University? It was in the Wanstead years. They got him like in the 4th or 5th round. He caught like 120 passes in college. And boy, everybody was talking him up. And he was a complete waste of a pick. I forgot the guy's name, but that was another one of those hyped up young guys, because he caught 128 balls in his senior year, and he's got to be awesome and this and that. I want to say 4th round or something like that, maybe 5th. I want to say it's 4th. I'm pretty sure it was 4th. And I want to say the year, I'll give you the year. I'm going to go 2003 or 2002, 2003. Look in the 4th rounds. There's a receiver there somewhere. Well, I can help you look too. Where's my Dolphin file here? Here we go. Where's the NFL draft history? Here we go. There we go. Get down here quickly. Wow, Arturo Freeman. That was Moreline Greenwood. Yeah, baby. Those are names from the past. 2003. Here we go. 4th round was Donald Lee. Ray Jenkins, Jeremiah Bell. Nope, that's not him. Pape, Hadnot, Bowie. Maybe it was earlier then. Was it 2000 or 99? Let's see. There's a bunch of text coming in. I wonder if one of you guys actually nailed it. No, it's not Greg Camarillo. Greg Camarillo actually did something. Not much, but he did something. This guy did nothing. I forgot his name now. Oh, man. What was his name? J.R. Tolver, 2003. San Diego State, 5th round, pick 169. So I said fourth, maybe 5th. Okay, I was off by it. I told you. J.R. Tolver, San Diego State, 2003. I did nail the year, right? I said 2002, 2003, so I was close. Still, it's, for me to remember all these stupid little things, it's hard to remember everything. You know what I'm saying? But we do. We do. J.R. Tolver. Boy, fans were clamoring. Oh, but he caught 128 balls. I don't even know if it's 100. Look up J.R. Tolver's stats and his last year at San Diego State. I would say 128. Maybe it's 124, but it's like something stupid like that. But, he caught 128 balls. He's going to be awesome. And I was like, yeah, no, that doesn't really mean much. And he couldn't catch 2 balls here. Not 100 and something. What does J.R. Tolver do now?
Works with Jake at State Farm.
Really?
He's a State Farm insurance.
JR from State Farm. Okay. I like it. What is it?
Tolver finished his collegiate career, whole career, by the way. 262 receptions.
Right.
3,572 yards, 17 touchdowns.
He had a good year. Now, do you have his final year?
Let me see his final year. Hold on a minute.
I watch. I'm pretty close. 124, 128. I say 128. Go ahead. It's going to be something stupid like that. It's like a killer number. What is it?
Got so much useless information. 128 catches, 1,785 yards, 13.9 average, 13 touchdowns.
The amount of stupid information that is in this noggin. I mean, and I pulled that out of my ass because who the hell is going to talk about J.R. Tolver? Jesus Christ. Insurance agent. Look at that. J.R. Tolver. Yeah, he did. Oh, he went back to San Diego. Well, that's a really nice place to live. There's nothing wrong with living in San Diego. And yeah, that's the one place in California you might want to live. Don't leave. Stay there. Don't want to go to too many places, but yeah, that's the place. Jamie Zoria is in San Jose. Says, I hope everyone is having a great week. Remember to smash the like button, people, and fins up, everyone. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Ho Yoon, thank you, my brother. Happy holidays. Thank you, Ho Yoon. That's very nice of you, sir. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo also. Just heard Hard Knocks and McDaniel's speech to players. He was saying all the right things about his shitty play calling against Cover Zero. Let's see him go through, or let's see him gallow through, or I kind of think I know what you mean. And Merry Christmas, Peter. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show, and you can make a Bitcoin donation, which, of course, we love Bitcoin donations. Okay? Nothing wrong with a little Bitcoin donation. Please make sure you reach out to us there with a little Bitcoin donation. So do me a favor, put up a poll question right now. Are you happy or unhappy? No, how do you feel about Ndamukong Suh not signing with the Dolphins? Happy or unhappy? Okay, we're going to put that poll question up for you. Big O, you want a Spider Mitchell on the Heat? I just need one more ball handler is what I would like. So if you could get me another ball handler, I think that would be all right overall. And then, some health because, wow, these people can't stay healthy. Is Austin Jackson likely to play against Dallas? Don't know, Duke. Today, X-Man said he'll play against Dallas. Tyreek practiced. So you got that going on. I'm sure AVG will play. I'm sure Eichenberg will play with the calf. Deshaun Elliott concussion, I'm not exactly sure. Let me see what else. It's we'll find out, my man. I'd be lying to you to tell you that I'm sure that they would play or not. But I'll tell you, excuse me, Eichenberg has proven that he's a tough son of a bitch. So he's going to play. Guaranteed he's going to play. Austin Jackson, he's proven to be a tough cat and hungry and wants to help his team. His toughness is second to none on this team. He's proven that since he was 19 years old at USC, getting out of school in that final year and having to, give his sister the bone marrow transplant. This guy's toughness is second to none. I would count on Austin Jackson to play. I really would, because he just seems to me like that kind of dude, man. I love how Austin Jackson has completely changed his whole image, the way we look at him, the way we all appreciate him now. I think that's really, really cool. Rise Taylor with a little love in the super chat. Hypocritical. If we win the next two games, 49ers and beat Ravens, Bengals upset KC, we will have the number one seed before the Bills game. I wonder how seriously we take that game. That's a great question. I don't think they'll take it that seriously. If they don't need the game and they own the number one seed, there's exactly. It's Mike White. It's a bunch of backups. I would not risk anything. Why am I going to risk anything? There's no Teron Armstead. I'm not playing a whole bunch of people. I'm keeping them out. So yeah, definitely. If that's the case, you don't play that game for ego. Okay? That you don't do. You do it in the AFL when you win the Super Bowl in 69 and you're the Jets and your team wants to come back the next year because the first preseason game is against the Giants. And in those days, in 1970, they actually took the preseason seriously, and those Jets players had never gotten their chance to put the Giants in their place. And so after they had done it in the Super Bowl with the Colts, they wanted to send a message to the Giants that year that they were the best team in the city. And even in the preseason, they wanted to send that. That's when ego gets in the way, but that's understandable. That was an entire league that was being crapped on and not respected. And those Jets players, just like the entire AFL, whether it was the Dolphins or the Bengals or Kansas City or anybody else that was in the AFL, they all wanted the same respect that the NFL got because they thought they were as good. And that's the kind of game that the ego takes the field in a preseason game. This one becomes an exhibition game. There's no reason to put an ego in the way. If the Dolphins don't need the game and it doesn't hurt them at all, there's no reason to play anybody that you risk injury. So that's an easy decision overall, I gotta say. Oh man, H-bar is about to hit 9.2, baby. Yeah, Polka Dot's up $8.20. It's up 19.4%. Those of you that hung in there with me and you kept buying low, you're enjoying it, man. I mean, think about it. Everybody that bought Polka Dot at $4, you doubled your money already. Everybody that bought all your investments at $3.60 and $3.80 and $4, you've doubled it all now. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. What do we have? 86% right now. Only a couple of votes coming in, but there you go. You got your poll question. Let's see what you guys got overall. He's not needed, says Joe. Rather use the money on Ertz. I would too. I don't know if he wants to come. Big O, is Solana dead? Why would you say something stupid like that? Solana is exploding, dude. Solana had its problems a year ago when they were having their network issues a ton, and they would have down for quite a bit. But now they have bounced back. They haven't had any more network issues. Their ecosystem is incredible. They've got a couple of meme coins, including Bonk, that is exploding on the platform. So I don't know what you're checking, but I believe it crossed $80-something today, or last night, actually, last night, because I know 92 now. It's at $92. So yeah, no, it's far from broken, my brother. I'm not sure where you're getting your information. Sue has already got enough of Ross's money. He's fine. It wasn't going to be about money, guys. That was going to be a minimum deal. Now, if he was getting smart, you know what? There's one thing. I will give you this. Ndamukong Suh is a smartass. So he may have walked into the Dolphins offices thinking it's the same place from a few years back when he signed here and Tannenbaum and all these clowns were here and they gave him all that money. Maybe he thought, oh, I can sucker these guys and they got to give me an incentive and this and that. And that's where Chris Greer goes, no, dude, it's this deal or you can take a hike. And so that's why. This is a whole different ballgame when Chris Greer is running the show compared to the buffoonery that we used to have here in the past. So there could be a little bit of that. He could have asked for a minimum deal and then force them to say, no, you got to give me some incentives here. And if we win this, win that, or if I get this, you got to give me. And they're like, nah, we're good. Thanks, bro. Be good out there. Enjoy yourself. See ya. So maybe he did, get a little bit of a smart ass. You never know. Yes, sir.
I think Gordon Shumway nailed it.
If Sue doesn't sign, there is no way they make it to the Super Bowl. No Sue, no Cook, no Taylor. Their fate is. Oh, he's right.
Everything happens in threes, right?
He's right.
No Cook, no Taylor, no Sue is the three.
He's right. I mean, how badly have we missed Jonathan Taylor and Jamal Cook? Or Dalvin Cook, I'm sorry. Dalvin Cook, okay. I don't know. Missing some kind of Cook. Jesus. By the way, if you are looking for graphic designs, there's my man, John Ragone, baby, getting it done. The magic of graphic designs. So make sure you call him and wait till you see the designs he's come up for us. Welton Rayom, we got to tell you about the boys. They're in Hollywood, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Folks, I want you to keep this number save it on the cell phone. I know you can't be riding and driving, right? Or you're right now relaxing somewhere. Grab your phone and save it. Put Welt and Rayom, okay? And put 954-966-4646. You may not need it now, but you might need it next week, next month, 6 months from now, next year when hurricane season starts again. God forbid we get hit by a storm. The new rules and the new laws that DeSantis has in place, it's all to benefit the insurance companies and not you. Okay? All right? Your governor did not put you in the proper position that he should be putting you. He put you in a disadvantage. So make sure you have the proper protection. Call the right people. 954-966-4646, and they can help you out anywhere in South Florida. They've also got an offices in the Keys. So if you happen to be dealing with anything and some storm comes by and it creates some kind of water damage, call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646 for Welt and Rayom. All right. Big O, is it necessary to have the number one seed? The pros are that the team gets needed rest and it has starters healthy. The cons are the team will be rusty for the divisional game. Ariel, if you're rusty, you're not professional. Okay? Ariel, you must be young. All right? When you can get home field advantage, you take home field advantage. That's why we used to dominate here in the Orange Bowl all the time. Because Shula and his teams were winning more than most. And more often than not, you had to come to South Florida to win a game and get through the playoffs. And it was going to be very hard for you to win in the Orange Bowl. So if you have a professional coach and you have a professional team, they can be off for a week or two, even for the Super Bowl, and perform at the level that they're supposed to. If you're unprofessional and you're just going to believe your clippings and you're not going to do things the right way, then yeah, that's at risk. But I would never look at home field advantage as any kind of disadvantage. That to me makes zero sense. All right, give me a 1 minute here. Give me a 1 minute break. Back with more right here on the Big O Radio Show, live from Hyde Park.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, we are back here at Hyde Park. And, of course, my man, Steve Calabro, general manager, ready to join us. There we go. And you got the no-regret first bet behind you there.
Finally, Big O, sports betting via Hialeah Park Sportsbook. Now, it's a little different. It's digital, all digital. We've been talking about this for months and weeks. We basically, you're going to go, you just scan. I'm going to send it to Sean and everybody, and I want every time we're on to show the QR code. That's the QR code.
We're going to make a new billboard for you on that.
Yeah. And basically, you have to go to our QR code, and you make a Hialeah Park account. It takes like a minute or two to make a Hialeah Park.
A different phone number.
If you already have one.
Or a different email.
Yeah. And then you hit a button.
If you happen to have a Hard Rock already, so you can take advantage of this.
Exactly. Okay. And then it sends you right to the Hard Rock bet. And you get your $100 no-regret bet. Now, let me tell you a little funny story. Well, I don't know if it was funny, but a quirky little story that happened to me. So I signed up. It was last week. I signed up. I go to the Monday night game. This is 2 weeks ago, 2 games ago. and I'm giving 12.5 points to the Titans. I'm feeling good. I'm walking into the stadium. I'm feeling good, right? Well, 3 quarters go by and we're like tied and we can't score a touchdown, and so now I'm starting to scratch my head. I'm sitting next to my wife. Behind me is next to me is my best friend. My wife's over here. Behind me is the Dolphin maniac. He's the fan of the year. He face paints every day. Roger, he's the greatest guy in the world. So I'm always on TV because they zoom into him and I sit in front of him.
Right.
And I'm saying, Raj, I don't know what's going on. I made my my $100 bet, 12.5 points, and it don't look good. No, he's a fan. He's a true fan. No, Steve, they're going to come back. I'm like, okay. Well, sure as not. They do come back.
14.
They got a touchdown. And I said, I'm thinking, hey, they get one more touchdown. Next thing you know, they get another touchdown. I'm up by 14. I'm high-fiving Roger. My wife and I got the money spent. We're picking the restaurant to go to. There's 4 minutes and 34 seconds left in the game. We're just figuring out where the heck, we're going to go to dinner with this new $100 I just won. And then the last 4.5 minutes occurred. I will tell you, the reason I share it, sports betting is not for the weak at heart. No. It's a tough game sometimes. Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. At first,
it wouldn't have helped you, but I always wait for the live line now.
No, and you said that on the air last time. One of the last 2 times we were here, and that's really let the games start to.
You still would have
establish.
Lost. It would have been a less points that you would have allowed, but you still wouldn't have won.
Now
anyway,
I'll tell you where I screwed up. Here's another one. So now your viewers, your listeners are going to be like, "Well, this guy's telling us how he screwed up in sports betting." Yeah, don't do what I'm doing, right? So now it's the following week.
And it wasn't a wise guy's pick. That's why.
No, it wasn't a Jersey guy. No, Jersey guy thought I was nuts giving 12.5 points. He's like, what are you, nuts? You give nobody 12.5 points, right? So, but, I'm a fan. I'm going to the game. That's the problem with sports betting. You really have to take the emotion out of it, right?
You cannot be a fan.
And so,
cannot be a fan.
This week, I'm driving to the game. I'm on the turnpike. Matter of fact, there was a little traffic. There's an unfortunate accident, so I'm stuck in the traffic, right? And my wife, I said, well, honey, I think I got to make my bet again. I'm going to make a bet, and she's like a little hesitant, but she thinks the Dolphins are going to win. I said, I think they're going to win, but I'm worried about the Jets. I'm worried. I don't know why I guess I was worried because Zach had.
We all thought
they had a game last week. They won 30-6.
I wasn't worried about Zach. It's just I'm worried about the craziness of a Jets Dolphins game. That stupid shit just happened.
8.5 point favorite. 8.5 point. You're giving up 8.5 points. So I don't know. I'm rushing. I didn't make the bet because I wasn't real comfortable.
Right.
Guess what? I should have made the bet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't even close. I mean, are you kidding me?
Because they have no offense.
They have zero offense. The Jets are. I mean, I feel. I don't feel bad for the Jets, but I feel bad for that coach. I mean, he just sits like he's just like.
Well, they made their bed, man.
But anyhow.
They made their bed and they went with that kid, and they had an opportunity to get all kinds of veterans behind. And so for me, this whole Aaron Rodgers thing is just
a joke.
It's
bullshit.
It's just crap. And he's like, oh well, I think all the coaches should be back and this and that. And they got him playing like general manager. And
well, first of all, why is Woody Johnson giving him so much authority? He's taking the 53rd roster spot, and he's not going to play.
You saw they cut that guy. They cut that poor guy, and then he got all kinds of back. And it's like it's so stupid. The things that they do they signed Dalvin Cook just because of him. That was the $8.3 million, because we had a lot of Dolphin fans and media that had no idea what the hell they were talking about, thinking this team needed.
You want a Cook, get James Cook. Don't get Dalvin Cook, but the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, I've never been a fan of. I respect the fact that he's
a great player.
He was a very good player, and maybe he's got a little gas in the tank. Maybe I never liked him because I don't think he likes people personally. So that I got a problem with that. But that being said, back to the sports bet. Here it is, 8.5 point spread, and they win 30-0. Come on, it wasn't even
That's betting, man.
Yeah, that is wagering, and that's the bet. So I always told people about how I.
Look, last year I didn't win my Dolphins bet till the last game because I had the over 8.5. And it was the 9th win was at the
this year was 10.5, right?
This year was 9.5.
Oh, so you're locked up.
This time I already won it with weeks left.
Yeah, you locked up.
Whereas last year We got to 8-3. We're like, oh, coasted. And then we're like, oh,
that's the same thing.
That's gambling,
That's
bro.
the same thing. But
So
I will,
it is.
to sum that all up, it is definitely more fun to watch the game when you got 50 or 100 on the game. I mean, look, whatever amount you want, $20, $50, 500, 5,000, whatever.
Whatever you can afford.
Whatever you can afford, you put it on it just makes the level of excitement really, really good. So I guess I got like 10 things to talk about. Hialeah Park Sportsbook, and Maple Leaf, I said it 8 more times, Hialeah Park Sportsbook, because that's the most important thing.
By the way, are you watching Hard Knocks?
I have not, because I purposely am going to watch it up in Jersey with my son and my stepson and my wife. So we are laying off it, and we're going to watch it because we're going to binge watch it. My stepson's a big Dolphin fan.
Okay.
It's all like we're going to have
he's held back from watching it also?
He has not. He's an emergency room nurse, so he has a weird schedule. He streams everything. He's but they stream everything, and he's held them back, and he'll stream it. I heard it's phenomenal.
It's been great. Yeah,
I heard it's like pretty good.
It's been a great sell job for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I heard Chubb is
instead of but it's McDaniel, it's Tua, it's Chubb, it's everybody, man. It's just been a really good vibe for them compared to the disaster it was before, because with Philbin and all that, they were a disaster. Now they're actually like a competent organization, and it comes through. You know what I mean?
I will definitely watch it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. There's some emotional moments there too, since you haven't watched it, because a couple of weeks ago it was pretty emotional. So it was good. But there's been a lot of good moments. The Sealer stuff this week with Wilkins and all that. It's definitely worth it. By the way, you tripping out with your boy DeVito?
Listen. Tommy Cutlets is the man, right? Tommy Cutlets. What do you want to call him? Tommy Cutlets or Touchdown Tommy?
No, Passing Paisano.
Passing Paisano. That's a new one.
Passing
Paisano.
Passing Paisano and Tommy Cutlets. What's that called? Trademarked. He trademarked.
Really? God bless him.
Because he's going to.
But we used to call him. So in the Italian, look, I'm a Jersey guy Italian guy from Jersey.
No shit.
Really? Yeah. I don't know if you could tell.
He's never even said that.
And you thought I was Irish, right? You're Polish.
Yeah, I thought
Polish.
So.
Yeah, Polish. Yeah. Anyhow, but it's when I go in town
here, he looked like he was a Czechoslovakian.
Yes. But Egyptians think I look Egyptian. Isn't that weird? Every Egyptian I've ever met in my life, they say, "Are you Egyptian?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
a little bit of Egyptian in there. I
can see that. Yeah.
I don't think there's any Egyptians in the NFL, but anyhow, so
it's the eyes.
Something.
It's a little bit. Yeah. I can see. Yeah.
I'm a Jersey kid Italian kid from Jersey.
You got enough bags to kind of look like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
When I was in college,
if you would get some rest, then they would never do it again.
Listen. When I was in college, I was in a fraternity, Italian American fraternity, right? And Carmen Trifoletti's father nicknamed me. He said, "Oh my God!" I don't know if this is really accurate. There's a slight resemblance, right? So we had a softball team. I'm bouncing around here. We had a really good softball team, 45 teams. I'm the pitcher. It's the high pitch, right? We get to the final game. We were a good team, right? I had a jersey. You know what my nickname was?
What?
Omar Sharif, because he's the Egyptian. Carmen's father thought I looked like Omar Sharif's.
You had the stash?
I had the stash.
Also, okay, but you didn't have the gray hair.
No, but Omar didn't have the gray hair when Carmen's father knew him.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so long ago.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of an older Sharif. Okay.
You're talking about the
set. He had the salt and pepper like you after,
Yeah. They go. You're talking about the late 70s.
No. I forgot about that. I forgot that.
You didn't have the gray hair either.
No, I didn't have the gray hair.
Nobody did. But so anyhow, so that was my nickname was. But Tommy DeVito, I'm having I think it's fun.
A fun story.
Although, so now my other buddy, the Jersey guy, he calls me up the other day. He goes, "I think I should be offended." I said, "What do you mean you think you should be offended?" He goes, "Well, they said everybody is Italian is in mafiosoed up, right?" I said, He goes, I'm Italian. I ain't in the mafia, right? And so he goes, what can I complain about that? I'm like, calm down. You're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. Like, nobody's insulting you.
Everybody's had to deal with stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the worst part about it is when we were young, we used to have fun at making.
That's how you knew. That's how you knew the kid. Yeah. The Puerto Rican kid's coming over, right? Yeah. Okay. Tell them to come over, right?
Whatever.
You know what I mean? It was. That's how you identified who they were.
Yeah.
Oh, the Polish family moved in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like. But nowadays, oh my God, you say an ethnic. Oh, you're a bad guy.
Yeah. It's like. By the way, some of these stereotypes, they kind of follow us. What are we gonna do, bro?
Listen,
I'm Cuban. We're late all the goddamn time. I can't do anything about it. You want to make fun of us being late? I'm not gonna get insulted on it, dude. You want to make fun that we have 47 people in each house? That's fine, dude. Stereotypes exist, man. It's like, oh my God, like Don Rickles would die today.
Yeah. He'd be arrested.
They'd
lock him up.
The electric chair would be given to Don Rickles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of, you don't know, but we had a guy locally called Neil Rogers. And Neil that's what he did. He tore down all stereotypes by constantly bashing all the stereotypes and everybody carrying each stereotype. And so he would go overboard to make fun of all of it to try to desensitize it. In the process, he was insulting a bunch of people. And
now he would be arrested.
Yeah, now he would be arrested. But the rest of us that kind of got it, we were just laughing and rolling with it and all that kind of stuff. Because it's no big deal, bro.
Listen, the same thing. So when I was starting in the gaming industry 40 years ago, I've been doing this 40 plus years, we had a bunch of guys from Philly. First of all, it was all these old Vegas guys. They came to teach us. And then there was a bunch of young guys from Philly and a bunch of young guys from North Jersey and New York, right? And we figured out after about a year or two, all these Italian guys from New Jersey and New York and these Italian guys from Philly, we are the same. There's only one difference. The Philly guys rooted for the Eagles. We rooted for the Giants, right? That was the only difference.
The pasta's still there.
The pasta was there. We all had ants with mustaches. We all understood that, right? I mean, this is what we did, and so it was kind of cool. But at any rate,
all right, you got some wise guys picks because I don't want Todd Archer.
No, I have a complete different direction.
We got Todd Archer coming up from the Dallas Morning. Well, actually from ESPN. Used to be Dallas Morning News. Covers the Cowboys. He'll be coming up in a couple minutes.
So the Jersey guy wants to ask you an opinion. Okay. So he has a.
Tell him I say invest in Bitcoin. Yes.
He's 100 years old, the Jersey guy, so he wouldn't know how to spell Bitcoin. But anyhow, so he has a fantasy league and he's in tied for first place.
Oh God.
Okay. Big week now. He said you got to ask Big O a favor. This week I need a Big O pick.
Okay.
He has Lamar and he has Dak Prescott. So Dak is against the Miami Dolphins. Lamar is against the 49ers in San Francisco. And Dak is in Miami. They're both away. And he goes, he doesn't know who to start. Obviously, this past week, Dak let him down. And so he said, look, I noticed the whole traditional thing that it's going the other direction, but I need Big O's help because I want to win this. If he wins this game, he's going to win the league.
Right.
And he's won the league 2 of the last 3 times, 2 of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
2 of the last 3 years. So he wants to win this one. So it's a tough one. And you got to take your Dolphin fan hat off too. You know what I mean? It's who would you start? Lamar against the Niners or Dak against the Miami Dolphins? Tough pick.
I don't think Lamar's going to do much against San Francisco.
Really?
I really don't have a lot of hope for Lamar against San Francisco. I think he's going to get thoroughly embarrassed because that rinky-dink passing game against that defense.
Yeah.
Unless Lamar can make an impact with his legs. And against the Niners, I don't expect that. And I don't think Dak is going to necessarily light up Miami, but he's going to get some points. He's going to have to because Miami's going to put up points. Dallas can't stop the run. Miami, I'm hoping McDaniel picks up habitually what he did against the Jets this week, where he called a more sensible game and didn't get too crazy. But then again, Tyreek is not there intoxicating him. So that's why he didn't call that kind of game. Tyreek will be back and it'll be intoxicating. So I don't know what kind of game he's going to call. But if he wants to really pound the crap out of the ball against the Cowboys, I think he's going to be able to do that. I think Mostert and all these guys are going to have a good day. I would actually side with Dak over Lamar.
I think it's the right pick.
I just don't think Lamar is going to be able to run that much. And I know he's not going to pass at all, pretty much, against them.
Yeah, I think
that defense is wicked.
I would tend to agree. For me, yeah, I told him I ain't giving you the answer because I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. I don't want to, but he said, no, I need an expert. He goes, ask Big O. He respects your opinion. He's listening and he respects your opinion. He's probably hearing it, and
I would lean to Dak. I think San Francisco's defense is a bitch.
Nicky Bosa is for real.
Yeah,
Nicky Bosa and the gang is for real.
And unless you're Mahomes or somebody that is magical, I don't know how you have a ton of success against those people.
So who do you think? And I'm going to end it with this. Who do you think in the AFC? In the AFC, if you just put the Dolphins as we hope they're going to get into the championship game, who else is in the championship game in the AFC? Let's assume that the Dolphins are one of them. That's obviously best case scenario for us. Who do you think?
I'll go KC. What the hell?
Yeah, so
just because when push comes to shove, they should be able to turn it up.
I think it's going to be Baltimore.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Baltimore.
I don't buy Lamar's passing game, bro. And it fails in the playoffs every single time. That's a tough team to prepare for during the regular season because of their running style. But once you get to the playoffs, you got to be elite with your arm.
You got to throw the ball.
And I just don't see that ever from Lamar on a consistent basis. I don't look at him as an elite passer. So that's why I think he runs into walls in the playoffs.
Well,
all right.
The other things last 10 things we got to talk about. Hialeah Park Sportsbook, and just keep going on with Hialeah Park.
100 no regret first bet. So make sure you guys sign up. And remember, if you have a Hard Rock account, sign up with a different number or a different email so you can get the $100. Okay. And
they'll make sure we'll post the QR code and the link, and we'll send it. We're going to send it out in the next 20 minutes.
We'll have it by tomorrow. He'll have a billboard up by tomorrow, and we'll have it up.
All right, man.
All right.
Have a great holiday,
Steve.
All right,
happy
man.
holidays, my friend. I appreciate it.
As we say in Miami, Feliz Navidad.
There you go.
We don't have slot machines here. We have macanitas. We don't say good luck. We say buena suerte.
That's it. I love it.
All righty, man.
Much love, my brother. Appreciate
Take care,
you.
man.
You got it. All right, give us 30 seconds. Todd Archer, baby. ESPN ready to join us. Give us a little preview of the Dolphins and the Cowboys. We do that next right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
It's time, baby, to talk to my guy, Todd Archer, as the Miami Dolphins get ready to take on the Dallas Cowboys. And my man, of course, has been covering the Dallas Cowboys for ESPN NFL Nation since 1997, covering the NFL, covering Cowboys. Has it been, 15 years now since you left us?
A lot longer than that. You are
really
getting old.
Longer? Shit, dude.
Yeah,
wow.
since 2003, been covering the Cowboys.
Wow, it's 20 years already, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Time flies, man. Time flies.
Jesus, man. How you been,
Still got
bro?
Perk, though. You still got
good?
Perk. Still got Perk kicking around there for you.
Okay. Yes. How's the family? Everything good, man?
Everybody's good. Yeah. My oldest, who was born when we lived down there, is now a senior in college. So, like we were saying, man, it goes fast.
Yeah, man. No, mine is 24 years old, and she's a teacher now, and it's like, holy crap, dude! It's amazing how.
And you still act like you're 24, so this is
yes.
great.
I will always act that way. You know me. I don't have any plans on growing up, my brother. And and by the way, this allows me to stay that way too. By the way, so it's as I told you, that the ultimate freedom the last 3 years has been just absolutely awesome, dude. I can't beat that. But anyway, all right, let's get to it, man. This is an interesting game because I kind of call it the Fraud Bowl because Dallas always gets hyped up. They don't live up to it. Miami's kind of lived up the same thing. They get hyped, whatever, never live up to it. And it's almost like the team that walks away with a loss, brother, is going to walk away with a lot of pain in the process because they're going to say same old Cowboys or same old Dolphins. That's kind of the narrative that follows this matchup, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it would be a lot louder with it saying same old Cowboys. Because it's been the same old Cowboys for a lot longer than the same old Dolphins and the national impact of all that stuff. But you're right. I mean, the Dolphins haven't beaten a team with a winning record?
No.
This season. The Cowboys have beaten 2 teams with a winning record when they played them, and one of them was the 1-0 Jets coming in here after losing Aaron Rodgers in week 1, and the other one was Philly a couple of weeks ago. So for the Cowboys, they're 2 different teams, home and on the road. On the road, they're 3-4. They're averaging 18.2 fewer yards per game on the road. And I unearthed this one too. No Cowboys team has gone to a Super Bowl with a losing road record during a season. So you lose this one, the best you can be is 4-5 on the road.
What's the Dak thing? So you tell me, because obviously the guy can play the game. The guy puts up numbers, but then we get the whole label, you got to get it done in the key moments and big moments. There's not enough of those for Dak in playoff type situations. Is it the same, by the way? And Tua's kind of building up his resume, and everybody's putting that, target on him. Hey, you got to start beating these kind of teams, the Cowboys and the Ravens, and you got to get over the hump of the Bills before you're respected as that franchise guy. How much does Dak have to go through that stuff still in Dallas?
Oh, it's not just Dallas; it's everywhere.
I know, but
the last time I was on with you, Big O, we probably talked about how Dak has to be Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach, and until he does what those guys done, he's going to answer questions or have to answer questions about it. And Tony Romo was a very good quarterback for a long period of time. Never got it done. Danny White, 3 straight NFC championship games after replacing Staubach, doesn't get any credit. And Dak is at the stage now where you've gone to the divisional rounds. You've got the big contract. You've won a lot of regular season games. The notion that he's not won big games is a joke to me. He's won plenty of big games. He's not won the biggest game that he's had to play, right? Losing in the divisional round last year, San Francisco, Rams a few years ago, Niners in the wild card round 2 years ago. So, until he does it, there's always going to be questions. And that's life in the big leagues, man. This is what you sign up for.
the Dolphins can do something, Todd, that I haven't seen since I was a child. They can actually run the ball.
You're still a child.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about mentally, not physically.
Okay, all right.
Mentally, let's leave that part out. But, physically, when I was a child, they could run the hell out of the ball as much as they wanted to in the 70s. It's not something that they've been able to do for decades now. Mike McDaniel, situationally, will piss us off at times because he'll go away from something that actually works, which is frustrating. When Marino did it, we understood why he was dumping the running game because it was all on his arm. But in this case, it's frustrating at times. But if Miami sticks to the run, how much can that be a problem for the Cowboys this week?
I don't know why you've just overlooked the Lamar Smith era of the Cowboys, of the Dolphins when I was covering them. I mean, they ran the ball then too. What are we doing, Big O? No, look, last week Buffalo ran for 266 yards against them. They missed 12 tackles. It's the most missed tackles they've had in a game this year. There's questions about the Cowboys defense because this is their Achilles heel. It's been their Achilles heel going on years. That the way to beat them is to run it and pound it on them. Mike McCarthy's saying this week that Miami stresses the edge of defense better than any offense he's seen in a long, long time. Dan Quinn's talking about how they have to build a wall and make sure that they don't get outside. Well, they can beat you up inside pretty good too. But I'll come back to this. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys are going to stop the run, but when they struggled against Arizona in week 3, 222 yards, the next week they gave up 50 some odd yards rushing. The San Francisco game, they gave up 170 yards rushing. They gave up 50 yards rushing or so in the next game. They've responded when they've been challenged on the run game. Now, a big part of that is their offense is scoring a lot of points and helping that run defense, because if you want to run on you and you're down 17-0, God bless you. Good luck with that. Right. I think this is a true complementary football team where they need the offense to put up points because that helps the defense play its best and do what it does best.
How bad has it been the last couple of weeks with the losses?
Well, it's just lost. Maybe the Buffalo they won 6 in a row going into the Buffalo game.
Yeah, the Buffalo game, yeah.
But yeah, it's been a same old Cowboys kind of story, right? And can't beat a good team. It can't beat a good team on the road. And that again, all fair questions. And that it was funny. We talked to guys in the locker room today. Have you figured it out? Well, I don't know how they're going to know the answer until they get to Sunday. But it really comes down to this: they got to play better. There's no magic formula out there. It's play better. And they're looking at this as a playoff type game, a statement type game, for probably a lot of the same reasons why the Dolphins looking at it the same way from their perspective and what it can mean to their season and not just the 17 regular season games, but what they might be able to do in the playoffs.
Where you been on the Tua discussion?
Man, I'm going to quote Parcells. I'm up to my own ass and alligators down here to worry about Tua. So, no offense. Like, I got to worry about Dak Prescott.
Do you think he can play in this league? Do you think he can be a hell of a quarterback in this league? Because I personally think he's a pure passer, bro. I think he's a fantastic passer. I really do. I think
he's a good player. And like all this, and Dak gets knocked about it too. And Purdy's getting knocked about it. It's like, oh, look what he has around him. That's his fault. Like, why is that his fault?
I don't. You know what pisses me off about that? People take for granted consistency. And I don't think people appreciate a quarterback that consistently delivers the ball on time, on target, leading the receiver, ball placement, all those things. People have to stop picking on Brock Purdy, bro. What he's doing, not everybody can do, because every decision he makes is usually the right decision. Yeah. Every throw he makes is nearly perfect. Brother, that's what elite quarterbacks do. That's all you got to. It's not about you running 100 miles an hour. It's not about you throwing it out of the stadium. But the guy that can, this is why Brady and Manning and Breeze and all these guys were elite, because the ball was there every single time, on target, leading the receiver, away from the defender. Brother, that's what an elite passer is.
And that's what Dak has done here. No one really wants to say that because all they think of is last year he had 15 picks and in 12 games and tied for the league lead. And they thought that's what he was. However, when you look at his career, he's not been a big turnover guy, a high interception guy. And he's reverted back to the mean this year of what he is. And he and Mike McCarthy have done a great job of combining what McCarthy wants in a West Coast scheme and what the Cowboys have done successfully here for a number of years offensively. And Dak's had the best year of his career. And now for both these guys, it comes down to what do you do when it matters most?
The clutch moment.
Right. And Dak's not played well in the playoff losses the last 2 years to San Francisco. And honestly, Big O, like entering this season, none of this stuff mattered for the Cowboys. I mean, it obviously would have mattered if they didn't make the playoffs, but now they're in. Everything about the Cowboys 2023 was what they did beyond January 7th and 8th, the last game of the regular season, and what they do in the playoffs. That's all that's going to matter for this team, for this quarterback, and for this head coach.
What happens, Todd? Tell us on Sunday. Let's go. You got the crystal ball. How you see this game working out?
Yeah, this is when you sound like the complete homer in what I'm about to say. The Cowboys are the only team that have not lost consecutive games the last 2 seasons in the NFL. They do a good job of bouncing back. And maybe I'm giving the defense too much credit, but I think the Cowboys will get back to moving the ball much better than he obviously did against Buffalo. And I think this is a great high-scoring game that we will all be entertained, and Cowboys lead with a win, and then you see what Philadelphia does if they have a chance in the division.
How are they as a grass team?
They play on turf, so they're usually a better turf team.
Yeah, that's why they're really good on turf. Actually, that's why.
But that grass is like, it's not like you guys are playing in a hayfield. Like
no, not at all.
That's
it is a change. It is a change. The heat, the humidity, the grass. You've been here. You know, it becomes a different game in the second half, in the third and fourth quarter if it's a little muggy.
But I will. That is all true. That has nothing to do with grass. But I will say the Cowboys have the same grass on their practice fields that Miami has at Hard Rock Stadium.
Okay.
So the grass won't be a factor. How about that for a stat there?
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Follow him on Twitter at Todd Archer. Todd, as always, appreciate you, my brother. Have a terrific Christmas. Enjoy the family out there and enjoy the football, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks, O. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There you go. The great Todd Archer, man. Good people, and we appreciate him taking some time to talk a little Dolphins and a little Cowboys. Can't complain. We got you the information today. We got you the breaking news today, which, of course, we break more Dolphin news than anybody, period. End of story, all that good stuff. And so got you everything. And are you happy the Miami Dolphins will not sign Sue? 65% say yes. There's this hate for him in a way, huh? There are people like dislike him from the first go around. Even though this go-around would have nothing to do with the other one.
Can I tell you something, though? Maybe not everybody in the chat, but if it would have been the other way around,
yeah, they would have
been 68% happy they signed him.
Okay, all right. So
I believe that's more of what happened here.
Okay.
But I do have one question for you.
Okay, what is it?
How the hell did Jerry Jones get this to a 425 kick?
It's the TV. Has to be the TV company. I was thinking about that too because I know you
took away our home field advantage. I mean, you're going to be playing into the night now.
Right. So it must have been Cowboys ratings afternoon. Let's pick up the West Coast people, and so it's the TV saying, because Cowboys bring ratings, dude. They bring ratings.
We're getting Romo again, right? No.
Oh no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think we do because they got the Christmas Day.
That
game.
is the one break we do get. Yeah, we don't get Romo.
We get Harlan then. Right? We get Team B. Will be Harlan.
Anybody but Romo.
Come on, Harlan, baby. Come on, Kevin Harlan.
Anybody but Romo, right? Anybody but Romo, please. Good stuff by Todd. Appreciate him as always. All right, hear me out, Big O, says Marcus Shabbat. We're sure Tua isn't from the Fiji Islands because he totally superfly doubters with his words at his presser from the top rope. Yeah. Superfly. Flying from the top of the cage. That was good stuff, man. Listen, if you haven't picked it up from him. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. Where I'll tell you this, because I wrote this note about that. Where it affects him is if it's McDaniel, if it's Chris Greer, if it's his teammate. That's where it affects him. If the crap that he had to deal with a few years back, that he literally had a head coach that disliked him. He literally had a head coach that wanted no part with him, did not want to coach him, did not think he could play, nothing. That's what affects you. The bullshit that Shannon Sharp is talking about, he's full of crap. There are just some of those dudes out there. Barry Sanders wasn't going to give a shit what you said, dude. Walter Payton wasn't going to give a shit what you said. There are some guys that in their lives, their life, Tim Bowens wasn't going to care what you said ever. He wasn't going to listen to you. He didn't care you even. Tim Bowens didn't care if you even existed. Okay? I don't mean anything bad by what I mean is he wasn't going to listen to any noise. He wanted no part of that. There are just some guys that are ho-hum. I'm going about my business and I just don't care. And they literally are like that. He's that guy. Now, the other stuff would affect him, but that's not going on now. There's no coaches or players or front office there's none of that kind of anti-hate crap going on inside the building. There isn't a coach polluting the building because that's what Flores was doing. He probably polluted it to a point that he polluted some of his players against Tua. You know what I'm saying? That's why this whole situation is, just a joke, to be quite honest. Yes, sir.
And Karoon, thank you for correcting me. It's on Fox, so I don't know why I thought Romo with CBS would have any chance of doing the game. I just thought Cowboys and Romo, so my fault there. And then Rob chimed in. It'll be Olsen and Burkhardt, which I think is their lead dogs on Fox now.
Okay. All right. I got no problem with that. Let's go over a little music history on December 21st in 1980 on this date, 18 days after Okay. 18 days after he was shot to death, John Lennon's song Just Like Starting Over topped the singles charts, man. That album, Double Fantasy, exploded. It was the biggest thing. It was a great album, period. Obviously magnified with the event and everything, but it was just a phenomenal piece of work by John Lennon. In 85 on this day, Bruce Springsteen's album Born in the USA passed Michael Jackson's Thriller to become the second longest lasting LP in the top 10 in the Billboard 200. It stayed there for 79 weeks. And I remember going to that tour and seeing it at the Orange Bowl. Hell of a concert over like 3 hours. Pretty close to it, I think it was. 2005, Elton John and his longtime partner, David Furnish, registered as civil partners at a ceremony in London on this day in 2014. They formally converted it to a marriage. In 2010, the Kings of Leon on this date had to postpone their London concert when two of their buses caught fire while parked in a lot of the O2 Arena. It took 60 firefighters to put out the flames, which took too long to douse, causing the band to be unable to set up for the sold-out show. And I guess they didn't have any buses after the tour. Just a guess. Just a guess. In 2012, 65-year-old Rolling Stone Ronnie Wood married 34-year-old Sally Humphreys at a ceremony in London. Keith Richards, Rod Stewart, and Paul McCartney were all in attendance. Birthdays on the 21st of December. We start off with the great Samuel L. Jackson. What's in your wallet? He is 75 years old today. Huh? Let's see. Who else? Celebrating birthdays today. Jane Fonda. She is 86 today. Emmanuel Macron of France, the world leader. He is 46. Ray Romano is 66. Everybody loves him. Kiefer Sutherland is 57 years old. Quinta Brunson, actress, is 34. Ben Chilwell, soccer player, 27. Who else? Who else? Who else? Betty Wright, R&B singer, rest in peace. Born in 53 on this date, died in 2020. Rest in peace, guitarist Frank Zappa, born in 40 on this date. We lost him in 1993. And I got to get your approval here. Otis Dazovic, wrestler, is 32. Big Otis? Yeah, he does look big. I can tell just by the face. He does the worm and everything? Okay. Dazovic? Is that how it's pronounced? Dazovic?
Now I'm understanding why his ring name is just Otis.
Okay. It's Dozovic. So I would say Dazovic. Dazovic would be the way I would pronounce it. Dasovic. Okay. Could be that. Otis. Otis knows us. He loves us. Can't wait to see Otis. He knows us. He loves us. Every single time. Otis, my man. Some of you out there are going, what is he doing? What is that? What's wrong with him? Oh, what's wrong with you? Let's see. Most of these shows start the day with a producer behind the scenes letting each host know what their stance is today, designed to spark your emotions. Yes, exactly. That's what they do. Yep. Yeah, maybe. Rosendo, wonder how many husbands and wives are divided over the game or spending time with family or going to church. I don't know. I don't know about that.
I can tell you we're a house divided on Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, because some of her family, there's a couple of her family that like the Cowboys.
Oh.
And everybody else is Dolphins. So it's going to be a very interesting.
I'd make their asses watch outside.
Christmas
I'd
Eve.
make their asses watch outside. I got to tell you, there's no way I'm allowing a Cowboy fan to watch a game inside my house. No, you're not allowed. Sorry, just not doing it. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Steve M. Hateful Steve checking in. Barstool Sports created an all-white and all-black Super Bowl for Mendenhall. Just imagine if a white guy said he did about any. Well, there's always been a double standard, Steve. You think anybody can get away with what Reggie White said to Congress that day? Talking about stereotypes? Boy, you know what I mean? There's always been that double standard. A white man can never say some of the things that others can say because they would be completely roasted and fried. You're right. There's always been that double standard. Always. It's always existed. It is what it is. Wonder what wrestlers, unless you're a comedian, then you would be able to get away with it. Wonder what wrestlers are Dolphins fans outside of The Rock anyway.
AJ Francis, top dollar. He actually was.
He was a Dolphin?
Yeah, he was a Dolphin at one time.
He's a pro wrestler, AJ Francis?
Yeah, he turned to top dollar is his name now.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he went to wrestling.
I mean, I don't follow wrestling, so I wouldn't know, but I know AJ Francis.
Yeah.
If I know J.R. Tolver, I know AJ Francis.
Yep. He was on the practice squad and
really?
Yep.
That is so cool.
Yep.
Okay. There you go.
That's the one I know because he always wears Dolphin stuff. And
is he any good?
He's good, yeah, but he got cut. But right now he's on the independents. He's going to start. He's been doing some albums and things like that, rapping. He's been rapping and stuff.
So he didn't go join another league?
No, I think he's going to stay on the independents. Nowadays, you can make as much money on the independents than going to put up with the stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Thank you, Marcus. Appreciate it. Got this in Vegas. One of my trips. I think this was for the first trip that I went back in late September. Not for this last one that I went. I did buy a couple of extra shirts because they always sucker me into it. They hold a gun in my head. That's what U2 does. Every time I go to a concert, Bono comes out, he puts a gun in my head, and he goes, walk over there and buy 4 shirts. And I don't know why, but I end up buying 4 shirts. So it's just one of those things. So this time around, he said, buy 2 here, and then buy 2 over there. And, so there you go. Whether Miami wins or loses, they'll move the goalpost. It doesn't matter what that's true, Simon, Dolphin fan, Cutter. He's right about that. Even if they win, they will move the goalpost. You are correct about that. That when you're right, you're right, my man.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
When they win, everybody's going to be like, well, we knew what the Cowboys were.
Right, exactly. Yes.
I mean, you knew what.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a good record, but you know what the Cowboys
but the Cowboys,
are.
come on. They always joke.
Come on.
That's true. Big O Sean, who do you think is the most hated NFC team among Dolphin fans? It's the Cowboys, right? I mean, the Cowboys are hated in general, and they're laughed at because they always never live up to their own hype. The Redskins. Oh, yeah, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, that's gone. I don't know if there's a real outside of the Cowboys. It has to be the Cowboys. I don't even know another NFC team that's really looked at that way because San Fran haven't won it yet. So eventually they'll get hated for that. You know what I'm saying? But right now they're not there yet. So I would go with the Cowboys because I think people hate the fact that they're so overhyped every time. Just like, look, Sean's already pissed off at the Cowboys. Why? Freaking making us do a 425 game. That's what it is. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. We're in Miami and we had to play not just a 425 start. So, my man's pissed because he knows it's like a, 11 o'clock finish on Sunday night. That's why he's looking at it. And it's kind of true. Gordon says, Otis, my man, makes me want to shout. Yeah. What is it? How is it? Why no? We don't mind if we dance with our women. Oh, man. Forget when was the last time Miami won against the Cowboys. They're due. God, how come I remember that? No, they don't. I have a shirt somewhere in my closet that they made for a Dallas-Miami showdown. And it was something or whatever. I forgot it now, but it was years ago. And I know I have the shirt somewhere in my house. I remember it. But it was a long, long time ago. Long time ago.
I was in 29 Palms, California in 93 when the Leon came.
Look at that. Let's do the 3A Graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco and the great people there in Hialeah, custom printing and embroidery. Let me tell you, if your company's looking for custom printing and embroidery, please call 3A Graphics. They will get it done for you. Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. He got it done last night against the Magic, 115-106. They improved to 16-12. Tyler had 28 points. Bam had 18-7. How about Highsmith? 30 minutes, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Friday, they take on Atlanta. Tonight at 7, the Blues are visiting the Panthers. Face off 7 o'clock, like I said. 8:18 tonight. Saints visiting the Rams. Rams favored by 3.5. Over and under is 46. And then on Sunday at 4:25, Cowboys and the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 1.5. Over and under is 50.
So let me get this right. They're only a 3-point favorite over the Saints.
Yeah.
I feel like the Rams have been playing so much better than the Saints. I mean, maybe it's by results. I'm just looking at results. I don't really watch a lot of the Saints, but it feels like that should be a little bit higher.
Yeah, but the Rams aren't explosive, so maybe that's why they think the Saints can keep it close. So that's the only reason. By the way, 62% of you did not want Ndamukong Suh. And you can vote that there. All right. We thank Matt Veram, Todd Archer. We thank, of course, Steve Calabro, Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that manages this entire platform and does a superb job every day. And, of course, we thank all of you that tuned in. If you send in a super chat, thank you so much. You can always send a super chat anytime you're watching the show, or actually Cash App or Venmo whenever you're watching the show. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. You can even make a Bitcoin donation. Appreciate all of you out there. We'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll be in studio tomorrow, 10 a.m., getting you ready for the game. Same time, same place, same bat channel.